acknowledge one of our players, Kevin Durant, for being awarded the NBA Community Assist Award this month. It's a pretty good reminder of the good that he's done. You think about it, you know, he donated $3 million to University of Texas last month. He just partnered with a group called College Track to combine to put in $10 million to educate kids to put them on track for college. The guy does so much good, like a lot of our players, or all of our players do so much good out there. And you know, they entertain people, which is a big deal, but they're out there doing a lot of good work in our community, and I'm really proud of Kevin and proud of all of our guys, and I wanted to mention that before we get rolling. So who wants to ask me about Arizona?
Go for it.
Okay, somebody asked too, so I'll bite the bullet. What was your reaction when you heard about the whole deal with Sean being caught on?
Just disappointed. Just, you know, it's my school. I love my school, so I don't really know what else to say.
Steve, following up on that, I know you retweeted an article about just the college situation in general with payments with athletes. Where do you kind of stand on that issue as far as should athletes be paid in college?
I think the NCAA needs reform for sure, and it's not just, you know, my reaction based on the news from yesterday. It's needed reform for many years. I don't think the NCAA needs to pay the athletes. And I think what the NCAA needs to do is allow the athletes to make some money if they're able to do so off the floor. The NCAA model is really a good one. I've got 2 kids who went through the NCAA model of you know, playing in college, getting their education. My daughter got a scholarship to Cal. That was not paid for by Cal volleyball. It was paid for by Cal football and Cal basketball. So you've got the revenue-producing sports that are helping pay for the other 20 sports. I like that model. I think it's great. You're putting out a lot of student athletes into the community who are learning and getting their education and being part of a team. But the fact is, college sports have become $1 billion industry, and you do have some, you know, key figures driving the economics. If there's a guy who happens to be a dominant player and Nike wants to pay him or Adidas wants to pay him to go to a certain school, the school's not paying him. You know, I think there's a way. I think it may be something similar to the Olympic model. You know, used to be the Olympians couldn't make it time. Now you see Michael Phelps and Lindsey Vonn, you know, in commercials. They're still in the Olympics, still doing great. People love the Olympics. You know, it's like, so there's a way. There needs to be reform, and obviously there's a lot of work that needs to go into it. But that's what I'd like to see.
Steve, when you look at this matchup and having seen this team twice, does the matchup concern you given the results of the first 2 games, or is it more you guys weren't as engaged as you expect you will be tonight? I mean, how do you assess it?
Well, they're a great team. You know, they're one of the best defensive teams in the league, and they've got a lot of size, and so they've taken it to us a couple times. So I don't think we played particularly well in either game, but you know, I give them credit. So tonight I would hope that we bring a better effort.
Klay Thompson and Draymond Green both shooting about 30% against Oklahoma City this season. What have the Thunder done to frustrate them, and how important is it to get them going tonight?
It's just 2 games, so small sample size.
Steve, are you feeling hopeful about Jordan returning in New York?
I don't know if it'll be New York. I'm hopeful that he'll return on the trip. So one of the 3 games, but we'll see how it goes. I don't know. He's obviously not playing tonight, but it's kind of a day-to-day thing.
Can we expect going forward that you will maybe match up a little bit more different with your centers in terms of who starts each game, or will it still be primarily Zaza?
I don't know. You know, right now, obviously, we're just going with JaVale to see how this looks. I thought it was a good result the other night, and the rotation could change. As you know, we got a ton of centers, and they all do different things, and we could start any of them. And it may turn into a matchup thing based on who we're playing.
Steve, how have you seen Steven Adams progress, specifically this year compared to even last year or before that when you had to play him in a playoff series?
It looks like he's more involved offensively. They've gone to him on the block more, one-on-one against us than they did in the past. And I think he's right in that sweet spot in his career where he's at the perfect age of his body, his mind coming together. He's got, I don't know, 6-7 years in the league now, I guess. I don't know exactly how many years, but he's got all the experience to know the league, to know how this works, and his body is in its prime. And so this is that sweet spot where he's probably really entering his best year.
Steve, with Andre's value not necessarily reflected in the box score, what are you kind of looking for from him from now till the rest of the season and playoffs?
Same thing we always look for. His ability to get us organized, to play that point forward role, to defend the other team's best players, and to just make plays. He sees the game as well as anybody I've ever been around. He knows what's happening before it happens at both ends. And if he makes shots, great. If he doesn't, that's okay. We don't win or lose games based on Andre, making shots. We do win or lose games based on having him out there and doing the things that I just mentioned.
Right, and just given what you just said about the shots and that not necessarily being the most important thing, how have you seen him kind of just handle that with his shots not falling his way? How his demeanor has been just handling that?
He gets frustrated like everybody else, but he works at it, and he's fine.
Anything else?
Thanks.
Great. Thank you. Appreciate that.